Hello and welcome to episode 339 of the Should I Play This Game podcast for the 22nd of June 2026. It's been a month. We've got stuff to talk about. How are you going, Steve?
Sleepy Steve in the house. Yeah, I don't know. That's about the best I got for you today so far. Oh.
Yes, so this is the first proper podcast in about a month.
Yep.
We put up a bunch of talkovers. We talked over the Sony State of Play, Summer Games Fest, Frosty Games Fest, and the Xbox Showcase.
Hey, good job. Remember to them all.
We then did a roundup of those four plus others last week. And today is the first time we're going to talk about actual games we played. Most of my games, if bar one, are all demos from those events, and the next fest,
into the next fest.
Next fest, which is currently going on, and I think is going on for another week or so.
No, it's finished on Monday.
Okay, Monday. So we're going to go through that, and that'll be a podcast. So over to you, Steve. You've got a lot to talk about.
Yes.
Over to you.
As per the norm, I have played quite a few games. Some of them are relatively short, but anyway, let's get stuck into brass tacks. Sure. Raider Kid and the Ruby Chest is a fake GBA game. Literally. So anyone watching the video version, you can see in the screenshots, it's got the screen frame of a GBA game. Graphically, very much looks like a Game Boy Advance game. It's a short search action game, or Metroidvania, as it were. They call it a Microvania,
Okay.
where you're a kid named Alex who is getting bored with his parents on a tour guide of some temple, and the tour guide keeps talking about different rocks, and he's like, fuck this, and goes for a wander, falls down a hole, and ends up in a tomb. And it's like, whoa. It plays really well. It's got good tight traversal controls. Holding up to go up ladders, it doesn't like. You have to press up when you're actually over the ladder. So that's kind of a bugbear, but it is what it is. There's some distance between checkpoints. So if you do fuck up, and you will, because this does, for as like I said with the fake GBA stuff, it does love itself some classic, in air quotes, encounters. So you will die a lot. So there is some repetition there, getting back to those points. Like, the obvious point is don't die. Like, yeah, duh. But that's sometimes that's unavoidable. It's good. It's not great. One of these. I've finished it in just over 2 hours. I got 78% map completion, 7 of the 16 achievements, as it says on the screen. That was enough for me. The frustrating elements sort of weighed down this a little bit, and prevented it from elevating from beyond that good level. It's still worth a play if you have nostalgia for the GBA or that era, or you have a interest in the form. But beyond that, it's fun. Forza Horizon 6, which happens to be the only non-demo game on your list. So I'm curious where you're at, because I haven't noticed you play a massive amount of it recently.
Literally haven't played in about a week, so
yeah. I'm not as enamored with this one as I was with 5. Like, I put 250 plus hours into 5. I'm just shy of 50 in 6. I've got most of the achievements, and I'm not really looking to play more of it until the DLC comes out. How are you finding the wheel spins?
fine.
Yeah. I don't think they're tuned to be as generous as 5 was. Like, I don't feel like I'm getting as much cool shit out of the wheel spins as I did in 5. Like, very small money amounts, basic cars. I don't have the Doom Horn, and that's bullshit. I want the Doom Horn. I've gotten some decent cars out of it, a couple of Forza editions. I've got all but one of the Forza edition cars, which I would need to do a bunch of the Discover Japan journal to get that last one. I haven't felt much draw to do the stories, which I did all of the stories in 5. And part of the reason is I did one of the day trips, and just the inanity of the chatter between the different characters is like, man, shut the fuck up and let's just drive. You don't need to talk. Just drive. Like the delivery element, the delivery activity as well. Once you get into the later levels of that, holy fuck, is that a grind? Like the first like half of it, you can go through pretty quickly, but then they just extend it so you're doing multiple, like I think at least probably 5 or 6 shifts to progress to the next level, and that's just not interesting at a point. There's a reason why the achievement completion for get max level in a job is like 3%. Because, yeah, like I wouldn't have played nearly 50 hours if I didn't like this game. But I don't think it's as good as 5.
I actually think it is better than 5, but not because of what you're talking about. It's everything else around it is better than 5. The environment's better than 5. The moment of driving is better than 5. Sure, the stuff they've added into it, yeah, might not be as fun or as good as that, but the driving around is always top notch in this game, as you know. But just the environment they've created, I think, is awesome. So that's why I'd say it's better than 5. I found 5, from an environmental perspective, kind of boring because it didn't really change that much from area to area, whereas this one does, and I think it's
I think the reason I put so much time into 5 was the weekly stuff. And because that was
the Forza stuff to drive you through to get you coming back to it. Yeah, and I didn't do any.
That was more new in 5, where it's not so new here.
Yeah, I didn't do any of that in 5, so didn't really appeal to me to do that kind of stuff.
Oh fuck, I did way too much of that shit. Jesus Christ. But yeah, we talked last time how I got everything. I bought the treasure map, got everything, didn't need the treasure map, so it sucked into me. Some of the Forza Edition cars, though, are fucking ridiculous. Like, there's an electric F-150 that's a drift car. And it's like, that some of those words don't go together. That doesn't make any sense. But they are really interesting. And the Forza Edition Mustang that looks like the John Wick Mustang, every time you turn and do a drift, it just goes, whoop, and it goes up on 2 wheels. So you feel like you're on the edge of control. Little Nemo and the Guardians of Slumberland. There's an interesting background to this. It's a search action game inspired by a 1990 Capcom NES game called Little Nemo: The Dream Master, which that was based on a 1989 animated film called Little Nemo: Adventures in Slumberland. That was based as an adaptation on a 1940s comic strip called Little Nemo and Slumberland. I learned about public domain rules in looking at this because it's in the public domain because its original publication was 1914. So there's a 95-year, we know about the 95-year copyright limit and things falling into the public domain. Or there's also life plus 70 years. And Windsor McKay, who was the writer of that comic strip, died in 1934. So I found that really fascinating. I was like, what the fuck's going on here? The first thing you will notice about this game, I don't remember that confrontation, but the first thing you will notice about this game is it's fucking gorgeous. It's got just a beautiful pencil drawn art style, and it's incredibly fluid in its animation. The animation's quite cartoony, but it's incredibly fluid in motion. The sound design's pretty good. It evokes Dreamland really quite well, even if that shit is not my thing. But it does it really quite well. The writing's actually really neat as well. It playing off the naivety of this little guy, of Nemo. Because he's basically, I think he's like 6 or 8 in the fiction. He just wants to help everyone. He wants to be friends with everyone. And some people are like, fuck you, kid, fuck off. I mean, it'd almost be better if they said that, but anyway. I think there's elements in the environment where secrets like traversable walls or breakable walls are demarcated quite cleverly, where you could miss it if you weren't paying attention, but if you know what to look for, you can go, oh shit, there's something there. Which that's really clever. I didn't finish it 100%. There were some hidden areas that needed a little buddy or a toy that follows you around that can detect hidden areas that aren't quite demarcated clearly. And I couldn't be fucked wandering aimlessly once I got that thing. So I'm just like, yep, this will do. If you look at that screenshot, Graham, would you think this game is relatively easy?
You probably would think that, but I'm guessing you're not.
Oh, fuck no, it's not. It's no joke. The fodder enemies don't fuck around. And the little moon meter here in the screenshot, that gets filled when you pick up candies. Or when you defeat enemy. No, it's not the candies. You defeat enemies and moons come out of them. And you find moons in the environment as well. If the moons hit the ground, they turn into candies, which is your currency to buy shit. The meter fills up, and as the meter fills up and fills, that was a weird way to do that, you basically level up, and the enemies get harder.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting mechanic.
And they change based on how they... Like, this little purple spiky guy will just jump up and down. Or he sits there in this normal form. The next level, he'll jump up and down. And then when you kill them on the max level, which is like a level 3, it shoots off little exploding blobs that hit you anyway. So it's a pretty good fuck you. The bosses are also a lot harder than this art style suggests. It's almost a combat puzzle where you're trying to figure out what you have to hit and how you have to hit it in order to do damage to it. They are frustrating at a point because, of course, they are. You die a bunch to them, but it is really satisfying to overcome them. The movement is fantastic. I think the game feels great to play. It straddles sort of modern feel and classic sensibilities really well. Like, a lot better than certain other games that I'm going to get to. Even amidst the frustration, it still is engaging and fun. Like, the art style does help with that, because how can you stay mad at something that looks like this? But if you take into account even some of those frustrating components, it's still a really good search action game in a year that's got fucking heaps of them. There's a lot of those games. And speaking of a lot of those games, there's been a lot of incremental games. All hail the orb. Hail the orb, Graham. Hail the orb. You click on an orb. Where is it? There. So you click, this is organized differently than how it is in the main game, but you click on the orb and you get currency. You can see in the top corner of this screenshot, there's 3 kinds of currency there. You get more. You're trying to restore a cult and its master. It's got some really cool music. The aesthetics solid, and there is potentially a fuckload of ducks. There's one dude where you can just spawn a bunch of ducks. Here's the duck's name where you go to spawn the ducks. His name is Quackles. Well, that's a great name. There's a few different mechanisms for getting currency. Like, there's a library to build knowledge, and you have to send little cultists to read books. You get cultists standing on these platforms around this big diamond to generate a different currency. I can't remember the name of it. It's been a while since I played it. Pretty much everything you can automate or idle, except for the mushroom farm. There's a mushroom farm where you grow mushrooms, but it's crucial that you leave space for the mutated spores to grow. Because I was a dipshit and I was like, yeah, let's buy out most of this space and just bulk plant a bunch of mushrooms, not leaving enough room for mutated mushrooms to plant. The mutated mushrooms actually sell for way more money. So I fucked up for a while. So it took me 5 hours to finish it. I probably could have finished it in 3 if I wasn't such a dickhead with the mushrooms. But yeah, there were a couple achievements I looked up because some of them were just a smidge too clever. Like, there's one for a ducky ending up in a pool of some kind. Some of them are super clever. In a year of pretty fantastic incremental games, it doesn't quite hit Keep on Mining Worlds, but I'd have it around Tower Wizard. And Tower Wizard's not a bad game. Tower Wizard's fucking fantastic. But it ain't no Keep on Mining Worlds. I like Keep on Mining. Remember how I said classic games that are way too stuck in the past? This is what I was talking about. I've got a lot written for this thing. I don't want to give it that much oxygen because it pissed me off way too much. Saint Slayer, Spear of the Sacrifice. It's telling a story where Sacrilege. There you go. I said Spirit of Sacrifice. Whoops. I played this for less than an hour. It pissed me off that much.
Mm-hmm.
I started on hard because it's like, oh yeah, if you're familiar with these kind of games, yep. And five of the first 10 enemies jumped from on high in a way that you couldn't deal with. So you just got hit and ended up dying. It really sticks to the pace of NES games, where it's very slow in its movement. It's got that rigid, stuck jump arc where you can't control it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about this game is just designed to say, hey, fuck you. There's a couple of things that's great. There isn't a lot of contact damage with enemies, which is nice for this sort of thing. And when you drown, the character named Rudiger sticks the finger up in the air as he's drowning, which is pretty great. The just entrenched deference to this classic systems of old, where we've definitely moved on. It's like, yeah, no, I'm not doing this. Get fucked. Like, you get achievements for saving civilians, and if you don't do it in just the right order quickly enough, they either get killed by a monster or they lock you out of where a secret is. Little fuckers. Moving on. Hey, Mouse, you've played this.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is fucking awesome.
I told you it was awesome when I played it.
Yeah, I knew it was. I knew, like, just from the looks of it, you could tell it was going to be great. I just hadn't got to it because of my.
Yeah, the looks could be one thing, and they could play shit.
Yeah.
So don't. Yeah, the looks aren't one everything, but they managed. They managed to do everything. So.
Troy Baker does a fucking fantastic job. Like, if you didn't know it was Troy Baker, you might not pick it. I think the rest of the voice work is done incredibly well. I think the music's super neat. Like, I really like the baseball card minigame. The shooting's a little basic.
No, the shooting is not the thing. I don't think. But
no, it's functional, but it's still fun.
Oh yeah, it is what it is, and it's great for what it does, and it works, and that's kind of all it needs to be, because everything else around it is what this game is kind of really being sold on, not the gunplay.
Nah, and like just the animation on watching the guns and all that sort of deal, and just. What a great one of these.
When you kill enemies, they go with that flat thing and they fall over it. Yeah.
And you move around them, it's like Hell of Doom.
Yeah, exactly. It's awesome.
But I do like the different effects as well. Like if you throw dynamite at someone, they turn into ash.
Yeah.
Or if you shoot them with the acid gun, they melt and you just have skeleton left.
Yeah. I mean, the game flows so fucking well. Like it's one of those things you got to see it in motion to really appreciate what it's doing on screen, because it is amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah. I like the little overworld map between missions where you drive the little car.
I can't even remember that. I might not have got that far.
Yeah, to get to different missions, you're driving the little car between the different levels.
It's been a while since I played it, but yeah.
Why did you fall off? It was just
I've got other stuff in my life to do, mate. Pure and simple. Yeah. When I stop playing a game, it's not because the game isn't good. It's got other shit to do.
Well, sometimes the game might not be good.
But most of the time, I'm unlike you. I'll be very blunt. I pick my games very carefully.
Yes.
So I'm not playing a game
I still have over 50 games on my current backlog shelf.
Yeah, I have like 10. So yeah. So I'll get back to it at some point, but yeah, not enough.
At this stage, I would like to think it's going to end up in around the top 10. But I can't say for certain. But man, I really like it. I really like what it's doing. Another game I really liked what it was doing is Mining Merchant. I accidentally found this. I don't know how I found this. I played the demo on a stream, and I'm like, "This is fucking great!" And then I bought it, and it's still fucking great. So. Your character doesn't seem to have a name off the top of my head, or at least I can't remember it. He rocks up to New Rock City. You're trying to help your uncle with his floundering jewelry store, which he made by converting a gas station, because of course he did. And you're trying to solve mysterious nightly earthquakes that both plague the city and also collapse anything you dig. So there's two components. It's a bit like Moonlighter in that there's the store management, which this screenshot shows at least money flying, which is the store part. And then you have the digging part, although that's, So you dig for minerals. And god damn it, the digging is so satisfying. I dig holes, and I get stones. And then after a while, you have too much dirt, so you both have a dirt, I guess, load on your mech that you're digging with. And there's also a dirt repository up on the surface where you dump the dirt that you've dug. And once that's full, no more mining. So then you are using the ores you get to make jewelry of different materials, different quality, and then you're going back to sell them. And as you're doing that, you're also trying to figure out what's causing these earthquakes.
How does that bit play out? Is that like story stuff, or just dialogue on screen you're reading?
No, there's some story to it, and there's some pretty interesting characters that actually come up too in a way that I wasn't quite expecting. It does take a bit to get that part going. Because initially, like, what the hell? When the fuck? Because the redneck who owns the scrapyard that you initially dig in, he's like, "Fuck you! All the good trash is at the surface. You don't need to dig further. Fuck off." And you're like, "Fuck you, old man! I'm trying to dig down." And he's like, "I'll kick you off this land." And then you're like, "Okay." There's just enough to the store management and jewelry crafting to not make them be a burden. Kind of like Moonlighter. And that's still really interesting on that front, but the digging's so satisfying. Like, I fucking sunk time into this. 14 hours across 6 days. I played it damn near every day off after work for a good couple of hours, and like for 3-4 hour stretches on weekends. There was escalating bugginess in the menu navigation in the store, where something would happen with the controller where the UI selector on the menu to like pick rings to put on shelves and stuff, that would reset based seemingly where the mouse was.
Okay.
And that ended up getting fucking infuriating when it happens like 8 times, and then you're on an item and you press the A button and nothing happens. So it took a bit of fucking around to get that done. The art style is functional. It's pretty neat pixel art style, but that's not the draw. It's got some really cool chill beats to mine too. More so than another drilling game I'll get to. Like I said, there's some pretty offbeat, neat characters. I just really dug the digging. Even if you include the bugginess, it's pretty fantastic. But if the bugginess was fixed, this would be fucking amazing. I really dug this. A game that I dug the demo of, but was less enamored the more I played it. Voidling Bound. This came out. This is a recent game. 9th of June. So I played the demo, questioning whether or not I was going to buy it. I liked it. I bought it. Basically, what if Pokemon was in space in a third-person action game? So you're a Wrangler who you're trying to save Voidlings, which are the space Pokemon, and you're doing missions on different planets. But basically, there's only 2 types of missions. One, you're going to a planet, cleaning up some purple blobs, and then eventually triggering a boss fight, or it's wave-based or time-based survival. Like, it's got some really good third-person action or third-person shooter bones, but because of how puddle deep the narrative is and how little variety there is in the mission types, like, I hit 7 odd hours and I was done. Well, the 7 hours includes the demo as well. Like, it's a shame because there's some really neat mechanics on the Voidlings. So, nope, there. Doesn't show it very well. But you've got different elemental currencies, and you can use those to determine how you want to evolve the Voidling.
Okay, yep.
So, but it only gives you a choice of 2 elements for each one, but it does go a little bit different as you progress down those paths. You can breed them to create eggs. You can level them up in a gym. There's a gym where if you don't take them on, so when you go on missions, you're shooting the different enemies, you'll level up, because of course you do. It's a fucking video game in 2026. Or you can stick them in a gym, and they punch away at like a punching bag, or they do like fake jump rope to level up. The Voidlings have a pretty interesting range of abilities. The Quipek, which is this guy, he's more rapid fire, or they're more rapid fire focused. There's one that's more of like a bulldog type looking character, Voidling, that's more of a shotgun. There's a few that are melee based, a few that are more defensive based, and things like that. There's some really interesting variety
So what is
in
it?
the actual voidlings.
You're playing as these or with
Yeah.
these? As
So
these.
basically, the voidling bound part is you are mentally connected to the voidlings when they're on a mission.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So fuck knows how that works. They didn't really explain that very well. You just sit in a chair, pick the voidling, it loads, and then it turns around and it's like, hey, guess what? You're controlling it now.
Okay.
So, like I said, the narrative doesn't really explain a whole lot. Or I might have skipped it when I went over the demo in one stream. But yeah, you control these voidlings like a third-person shooter.
Okay.
And that part's really fun. But fuck me, there's not a lot to do in the actual worlds. So it just like, had the variety been there in the mission structure, this would have been fantastic. This would have been great. Sadly, the variety is not there. But anyway, it's not on console yet. They're working on that. I think some online co-op might alleviate that sameness, because then you have someone there to bullshit with and talk with and stuff like that. But anyway, one of the games that showed up in the key 3 as selling 1 million units this year, Scoosy Scratchy. Hey, do you like scratching tickets? Because that's what this is.
That's what that is. Okay.
That's hell of that. You can largely make it idle. See this little robot down here? You feed him tickets and he'll scratch it for you. And you can make him go faster and stronger and better. And then you get a little cat that like will claim the tickets. So you get to a point where you don't need to touch anything. You just keep buying tickets. The cat, because some of the tickets will be fucked in that they hit you with negative amounts. So you lose money unless you throw them in the bin. You can level up the cat to automatically throw them out. So you've got 4 tiers or 4 catalogs of scratch tickets. And at the end of each one, the first time you hit the end of each one, you get a final ticket, which has an incredibly low percentage to win. And then if you lose, you die. So that's where you prestige, because when you jackpot on each of the tickets, it gives you jackpot points, which are like your prestige points. So that's how you open up the skill tree. There's upgrades, persistent upgrade, or not, they're not persistent, but you buy upgrades like scratch size, scratch strength, scratch luck. I think there was another one, but I can't remember. It is really funny, though, if you automate the final ticket and the cat picks it up and it's a loser, the cat dies. If you put it in the bin dies. So, and like you start off with a day job washing plates. And the failure state for the plates is that they break. I played this for 12 hours over 4 days. So pretty obsessive. I got both the endings. I got about 10 achievements left, but I had my time. It's on par with Keep On Mining for that incremental idle experience. And now for some rapid fire. I almost want to just say, Boat Ass Game is very good for nautical survival. There's some functionality in the different boat types. They're pretty neat. There's an unfortunate grind with the achievements and progression to get more better weapons and things like that. That grind makes continued play a bit unappealing, but I still think it's a really neat ass game for this year. It's still installed, so yes, you should play this. If I didn't think it was great, it'd be already deleted. You Know the Drill was the other Chill Beast the Mine 2 game I was talking about. This one's nowhere near as good because they just throw up arbitrary barriers that just make everything slower and more boring. So like, as you progress through different environments, the drilling through the actual dirt is slower. The rocks take way more damage to break. And it just gets in the way. No, you shouldn't play this. It gets bogged down arbitrarily just for challenge. Dungeon Clawler. What if Peggle was a claw machine? No, what if Slay the Spire was a claw machine? Sorry. It's got a really neat art style. Again, though, like there's some fucking fantastic claymation cutscenes, which are that I can't overstate how amazing they are. But it's pretty good fun. Yes, you should play it, but it's got a grind because, of course, it does. It's one of these games. And finally, Froggy hates snow. You are Froggy. You hate snow. So you dig snow to get different currencies, and then after a while you get cold and you have to go back to your little hut. There are waves of enemies that come out, and then it turns into an auto shooter. But initially you use your tongue, because of course you do. You're a frog. But again, like Dungeon Crawler, it's hella. The grind is worse here. It's really pleasant. It's got a really pleasant and charming art style, and everything about it's super nice to play. But fucking hell, if you want to make progress, Jesus Christ, lock in. And that's where a lot of these games are starting to lose their appeal for me, is just that inherent grind. So that is my basically my last 4 weeks outside of what was played on stream. Which we could maybe double or triple this if I did that. And let's not do that. What have you played?
Right, I have played a whole bunch of demos, and I've got more to play. Just didn't get to all of them before we recorded. So this is one that was in, I think it was in
Future or PC Gaming, I think
it was one of those two. I'd seen it before that. I already knew about it, but this is Ascenders Beyond the Peak. So this is, think XCOM, but you're climbing a mountain. So this is a really neat concept and is really kind of cool. So you've got turns. So it's XCOM, you've got your turns, you've got a certain, I don't know if any of these screenshots, no.
I like that. The reachable and unreachable parts.
So there's your movement sort of window.
Yep.
As to how far you can move. You lose, I can't remember the terminology, it might be stamina as you're moving up the mountain. You're not moving up, but you're not doing the entire mountain climb in one go. You're doing segments of it, essentially, to get to a certain point. And that point is shown in there. Those bits there.
Oh, okay.
So that's where you've got to, that's the top of each, or the end of each run, you could say. And this is the kind of the map, the various climbs you're doing.
Is it run-based or procedurally generated, or do you think it's sort of
I'd say it's definitely, well, it's not run-based per se. You're
not doing, the roguish nature
there's no, well, I haven't failed yet to know if there's what you do at that point.
Fair enough.
But yeah, all you're doing these individual sections of climbing. So yeah, I'm not too sure. Yeah, so but the goal is you've got to get to these endpoints. And each time you move, you're obviously using action points, movement points, whatever. There are things to collect on the way up, like food, and like building materials kind of thing, because between each run you've got this kind of camp setup where you're recovering your stamina. You can eat food to get other health points back. You can also build on certain, like you can actually have your team members work at these various points here. It's not particularly clear on the screenshot. There's one there with a +20s, and they'll work overnight on doing whatever that thing's to get a buff for the next run, sort of, or the next climbing section you do. There's leveling up, so it's got all the same.
Hell of XCOM.
You've got all the same mechanics you've got in an XCOM style game. This is telling you that these arrows going down things gonna collapse down that path.
Oh fuck!
So you've got to avoid that as well as a part of the run. There are things like the demo's set up in such a way that you're doing certain things to get all the mechanics covered or brought across. So things like some of them might have. I'm not sure they'll do this in the actual game itself. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Where they'll say you've got to go and collect X berries for food for the next intermission period, sort of thing.
Yep. That
might be part of it as well. Or that might be optional challenge to get more things sort of. If you get one of your characters to see this top guy here is sort of sitting on top of that rock. If he gets to that at the end of the turn, he'll gain points back to his stamina, so you can actually recover sort of mid climb. So it's got a lot of the same mechanics you'd see in an XCOM game. They've just turned it vertical,
Verticalized them.
verticalized it, and it's really kind of neat. I'm not seeing anything. There is a story to it, and must admit I've completely forgotten what it is.
You got to climb the mountain.
Yeah, there's a purpose why you're doing it. I can't remember what the purpose is now. Each of your characters has abilities. Like you see, this guy's got a rope here and a pickaxe. So they're things you can do during the actual up climbing section. Like you might have a bit where you might want to destroy a bit of the rock to free up a pathway kind of a thing.
Yep.
Pickaxe can do that. So yeah, so it's got a lot of neat mechanics in it. Said you go destroy 3 corruptions, which I'm guessing is probably these things. So they're part of the run you've got to do, and reach the top is only unlocked when you get that sort of things. They're going to have objective-based things as well in the run. So
yeah.
Then after you get to during these bits, there are story elements,
character interactions,
and stuff like that. And I think they may have been I think they're also voice acted as well. So it's actually really neat. So
it's such a neat spin on there's been a few climb this mountain game, and it's just a neat spin on that.
Yeah, I mean the fact that it's turn based and you've got some pretty neat character art. You've got former soldier,
Raphael
Hubert. So and obviously they get not attributes, like debuffs for one of better term.
Yeah.
That affect them, and at the end of for each run, I'll call it a run because that's how to describe it. You're picking the 3 that you want to go into the run, and they do what they do, and it's not explained how they
get left behind.
That they don't explain that, but when you get to the next area, they're there. I don't know how.
Okay. Yep. No, it's video games. Yep. Sure. Say no more.
Yeah. So, you got things to recover your stamina, recover health, that kind of stuff. So it is really, really neat. The presentation of it all. So here's removes all fatigue. That was the thing I was looking for. Fatigue was the other thing they have. So you put them into this tent. They remove all fatigue from your climbers aside. So you can also have them doing stuff, and they'll lose fatigue overnight, but they'll get a buff that. Either that character will get a buff, or there'll be a buff available for the team for the next sort of run. So, yeah, it is a really neat concept to put into play. And that's out only in
Q3,
a month or so.
Oh,
I think I'm not sure
that's weird.
I'm not sure that's actually the actual date, but it's out in early access when it does come out. So
because the store page right now has Q3 because I checked it.
Yeah, okay, that's just the Q3 date. Then that's fine.
Yeah.
So next one's Bio Eden. I think this was also in a PC Gaming Fest. I think one of those two.
Quite likely, actually.
So this is
a Graham game.
Well, yes, in a way, but I'm not sure I'd stick with it. You where do you start with? Let's go. So it's very similar in concept, or no, not concept, in overall philosophy of Terra Nil from...
Yeah, I remember. That's right. You mentioned this last week. 2
or 3 years ago, I think that was. So you're on some planet, and you're working for... I think you're working for some sort of a company of some name, and you're basically on these planets building these domes, and inside that domes are creatures that you are...
okay, so you're creating sort of semi-biomes for the character.
Yes, so basically in it, this doesn't show up particularly well, the mechanics of it.
Peppers!
So basically you have animals you can nurture, grow, not sure how you describe it, and basically when you put down their little mini environment inside this dome, you've got to then put in certain things into that environment or that little area, the things it needs to get to the mating stage, so then they make another one.
Hey!
So things might be like you've got to put down plants, bushes, little pools, that sort of thing. When you get that criteria met, it turns into a den. Then there's more criteria you need to do to make them happy, literally, so that they can mate.
They already mated. How much more happy could they be?
That's the second part of it. So there's multiple stages to what you're sort of doing. So I can see you've got a little creature to the right here, another one to the right here, and there's a third one just there. So that one top there was the offspring of these two.
Aww.
So you might have to say you've got to put down their environment, and it just starts with a little I don't have a screenshot. I should have taken better screenshots before I started. Let me see if there's one that does show it off. I don't think there is. No, there isn't one.
But you kind of suggested that you're not digging this.
I think it's so once you've done this bit inside it, you'll then need materials. You can see them at the top of the screen, all these different materials.
Fucking hell.
At the top there, that's all harvested outside the dome, which is this sort of aspect. So essentially, you roll the mouse cursor, roll the zoom out. Eventually, it zooms out of this dome into this essentially this other bigger dome for the better term. And in here, you've got materials like you can see down. Again, the screenshot doesn't show much.
A dome within a dome within a dome.
So there's like pockets of these materials that you're essentially mining, and then you're using those materials you mine to do the next part of the progression of the inside animal progression, plus also you're making this outside environment clean.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, this doesn't look very clean right now.
So that's what you're only getting to this kind of a look by the end of once you've done it, everything. And there's also water extraction, solar power, that kind of stuff to power the dome in the middle. There is a bit of... It was a screenshot I saw. Was it that one there? This is how they sort of deliver story, quote unquote. Through this thing in the middle here. It's just talking. So, but if you do too much extracting, you have an impact on this environment. You get this crisis alert, which I haven't got to inside the demo yet. I'm just not too sure the inside part. So when I say that inside the dome part is relatively straightforward. Like it's just literally, again, when you pick one of these animals to create, you're given this barrier around what their environment is, and they'll have things like it needs X, Y, it needs this. It can you might need one of the other animals to help with this one sort of thing, so you can have crossover between those sort of environments. But all you're doing is once you've got the materials to make some of these things, like for example these big trees here, they need one of the materials above that's in the top bar. I can't remember which one it was. It might be the black one there, I think. So if you don't have enough material, you can't make that plant. Therefore, you can't progress that little bit of that animal. So I think my concern with it is going to become really like it's two levels of micromanagement. This environment, and then your overall the outside environment. You're also managing. So managing both. If they get that balance right, it might be okay.
But if they don't, it's fucked.
It's going to be frustrating, or you're going to be sitting there waiting for something to happen before you can progress it. So I'm interested in it. It's still on my wish list, but I think I might have to be like a watch this space to see how it actually comes out in a month or so. Star Trek Outposts Unknown. This was probably, of all of the sort of games that I like, probably the most disappointing one of them. I'm not a big Star Trek fan, so don't worry about the Star Trek on top of it. It was just an interesting thing to sort of get anybody into it. But the thing about this game to me is it's just fucking boring.
That's never a good thing.
No, so let's see if we can. So, does it have no? So basically, you start in essentially an empty environment. You've got these characters which, at some point, you can select who you bring down to the planet. And once you get down to the planet, you've got your usual build things to make progress. So build a command center, build a platform to land the shuttle boat ship thing. you don't have to build housing on the planet because basically at the end of the day they get in the ship and
They fuck off back
fuck
to the
off
Enterprise.
back to the outpost or whatever, or the upper planetary ship, and then come back down again. Um, you're mining resources, which I don't think they're showing here at all. Like the flora and fauna can be sort of mined. Um,
So this is the opposite of the last game, where instead of trying to save the planet, you're just bleeding the planet's resources.
I don't know at this point what you're trying to do, if I'm
Okay.
honest. I don't think you're trying to do because that doesn't sound very Star Trek. Not that I'm particularly
Yeah, that's a fair point.
across Star Trek, lore per se. But it everything just seems really slow. The environment can there are not they're going to have it in here. I don't think. The you can have essentially worm monsters will come up and attack your ground people, and
Motherfuckers.
they can turn their guns to stun, and you just watch this battle take out, and you go, okay, they survived or they didn't, sort of thing. It's sort of
Yay.
there's not a real lot of interactivity. You're placing things down, you're giving them some sort of command to go and mine this, mine that, but beyond that, you're not doing that much.
Yeah, okay.
I just found I was so devoid of what was happening on screen that I just didn't think I had any input into what was happening or sort of any control. It just seemed like you were sort of just split from what was actually happening on screen. Other than okay, I'm going to build this thing.
Sort of more a passive observer of what's happening.
Yeah, and it's just. I mean, there might be more to the demo if I played it more, but that early hour or so that I played of it just did not work, and I said, no.
We've got our Star Trek story to sell. God damn it!
It's sort of like you could make this game without the Star Trek sort of branding, and I don't think it wouldn't be any worse or different sort of thing. So, yeah, it was disappointing. Not that I'm worried about the Star Trek part of it. Just having a good one of these games is good to play, and it just did not do anything for me at all. So, it's out at some point, maybe this year, maybe not. But I'll be interested to see how it does land because it could just be that the demo is not particularly good, which is always a risk with a demo that they don't put a lot of effort into it because they've got
trying to do the vertical slice of how to show the game off and then they fuck it up.
Yeah, so so that was So hopefully, as I said, I'll keep an eye on it, but not holding out much hope for it. Hack 95.
You tried describing this last week, and
I
it didn't go very well.
And I still don't know how to describe it, to be honest, because I haven't really got into it enough, because I think it's one of these cases where the demo lands you in the game without any context at all, so you have no idea why you're doing what you're doing. But it basically is, you're basically running Navigate 95 is what the operating system you're running is clearly what they're aiming at, what this is sort of targeted at. In fact, there's the logo. So
that almost seems legally actionable.
Yeah. And you'll then got standard. Where is it?
Fuck that, cool dogs.
Yeah, they don't actually have it. It's like you've basically got a chat system in here where you're sort of. He's your
Clippy
equivalent. He's just a weird looking dog. You've got your standard virusy stuff that can happen.
Hot girls in your area, Graham. Click on that. Are they hot? No. No devil worship in the library.
So there's some interesting humor in it. I just when the demo started, there was absolutely no context as to what I was doing and why I was doing it.
That sounds about right.
Which, as I said earlier with the previous game, the demo might not be particularly well done to do that, but I needed more information as to why I was doing what I was doing and how to play the game. Like this little dog thing giving you tutorial wasn't doing that good a job to really understand what I was doing. So I mean, I like a lot of what it's doing in terms of presentation. It looks really cool.
It's a
And
hell
really
of fake Windows 95.
yeah. And all the icons, like all these things, work as tabs. And to quit the game, you literally shut down your operating system and it quits. It's really, really neat.
Fucking hell, that'd scare the fuck out of me that I'd accidentally shut down. Oh no! Imagine if you're playing this on a server machine. Oh shit, I shut down the whole server.
So, I mean, I'm interested in seeing how this sort of goes further, but the demo didn't do anything for me. Yeah, maybe the game itself will work, and I'll be able to understand why I'm doing what I'm doing and understand it more. But yeah, I mean, I'm interested in it. But yeah,
it looks like a pretty cool fake Windows 95, if anything else.
Yeah, that they've done really well, and all the chat thing. It's got all the usual behaviour that you would expect of it. You've got a web browser.
What's the last screenshot? It looks like some RAM management sort of deal.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I didn't
buying. Oh fuck, buying RAM. Shit.
Yeah, so I only played it for like 20 minutes, so I didn't really work.
Imagine
for me,
buying RAM with 1995 prices. Fuck.
There are no ghosts at the Grand. We talked about this at the end of during our session, our last podcast. Where do I begin with this? So, let's see if I can find some. Okay, so this is when you first.
I don't know if that sounds good or bad.
Oh, this game is really, really interesting, and I'm really keen for it. So the game essentially starts in this room here. You can see at the back of that screenshot, it's got lots of crap on the ground and bits of broken bits and pieces.
Mention Hotel Flipper.
So this is one aspect of this game. I don't know how much of it is this game. How much of the game is this sort of aspect of it? You've got this little snarky Scottish dude down the bottom corner here.
Does he swear?
I think he does.
It wouldn't be proper Scottish if he didn't swear.
I think he does, but I can't quite remember.
You fucking bastard!
He's basically the tutorial onboarding thing. And as I mentioned, I think in our last episode, there is fourth wall breaking stuff happening here with the character you're controlling, talking about being onboarded and that sort of stuff. Is really talking to
that. How does that come across? Because normally that comes across really fucking shittily in a game.
Really well.
Hey, you played it? Oh, okay.
It does. This one I'm getting at. This game does everything really well.
Excellent.
So far. Not saying it sticks to landing, but it does it well so far. So once you've cleaned up the environment, you've then got the ability to move stuff around, and you're trying to make this sort of look like the way that it was in the past, which is what it is.
Wallpaper fucked.
But there is also sort of this sort of weird bug element in it.
Is it combat those sections or?
Combat would be overstating it. You're not really shooting them per se. It's totally hard to. You have to see this sort of in motion to sort of understand what that would look like. So each of these guns they haven't got the weapon wheel up, which is a bit irritating. So you'd have things like a vacuum style machine, a painter, a cleaner, that kind of weapons, if you want to put a term. That allows you various tools that let you sort of help with the environment. You're dealing with mainly this character in the demo is your character you're interacting with. And at some point you're not this particular scene, but you're sailing the boat from the dock to another island, and the story and the progression is done through song. And I know it sounds really odd, but it kind of works.
Like folktale sort of songs?
No, you're literally having a dialogue through song. It's, as I said, none of this will make any sense unless you see it in motion and actually play it. But it kind of works. At least that bit was like that. I don't know the whole thing's like that, of course, but that's what that bit was.
Like the whole game is just sing-songy dialogue. It's like, oh fuck.
Yeah,
it's like that musical episode of Scrubs.
So I'm gonna bring up how they describe it, because maybe that might be because that might give you a better idea of.
Yeah, some Steam store page descriptions are pretty good.
Yeah, let me just.
In this screenshot, this lady just has this faraway stare, like she doesn't give a fuck.
But I think one of the best things is this cat. He's really cool.
All right, cool cats are good.
Yeah, so inherit a crumbling English hotel and restore it by day while battling ghosts at night with a sardonic cat,
All right.
a talking power tool,
Fuck
oh,
yeah.
and a twisting supernatural plot. This is a musical mystery unlike any other. Will you be able to hold it together while everything around you falls apart? So it is kind of, yeah, it's
It's the musical part that's sitting weirdly for me.
yeah. As I said, the bit I did was, um, as I said, you're on this boat and there's musical
Mm.
parts there, and that's the only way I can really kind of describe it. But I I dig a lot of what this was doing. I just think it's just so different and unique in a lot of aspects of it. I think just alone it's worth looking at it for that.
Wasn't this shown at a Microsoft thing like 2 years ago?
I have no idea. Sorry, no
Okay.
idea. But yeah, so it's really something.
Mm.
um,
Sure shit. Sounds like it.
it's no date yet. Sometime this year, I'd hope. Because yeah, I am really looking forward to what this thing eventually comes out as.
Well, their placeholder date is the 31st of December, so that's at least something they're aiming for.
Mm. Corsair Cove is I guess it's a city builder,
Pirate City Builder?
pirate city builder. Um, we've talked about this before when we talk about city builders. In that the ones that really attract my attention now are ones that do things that are slightly different.
Yep.
And that is this one, because this one has you building vertically, big time vertically.
Fucking hell.
So when you start this, I think you basically start. Uh, None of this
Do
goes.
you have to put all of those bridges and shit in, or does it
Yep.
automatically link
No,
shit?
you're doing everything yourself.
Oh, God.
So
Fuck.
yeah, so this game is it has a story mode. I think it's going to be fairly basic story mode from what I imagine, but obviously it could be could be expanded better. Um, you're basically your do they have any of the cutscenes in here? No, they don't. So you're a gang of pirates. You've been captured by the Dutch, I think. I think if I recall, and
Possibly.
you essentially blow up the boat you're in to escape. You then escape to this island or this set of islands, which may be procedurally generated. I'm not sure. And from there you are um, building out a pirate enclave. So this has been published by Hooded Horse, who are the people behind Manor Lords, or they're the publisher of Manor Lords, just to
A
be
bunch of
more
other,
precise.
yeah, a bunch of other city
A
builder
bunch of other
type
stuff.
games, though, yeah.
This is their kind of the thing they do, or the thing
Mm.
they publish. So you're putting things down like um, you're building a camp. You're then putting things like housing down. Makes sense. You're
Mm.
then building kind of production lines like you do in an anno game, but nowhere near as involved.
Yep.
So, and that's what these lines are about on screen on this screenshot here. So, for example, you've got to, as a part of the game, like all these games have a happiness meeting. In this case, they call it a satisfaction meter, and you've got to meet needs to keep that satisfaction up. Makes sense. So one of those needs might be that you need to feed them, which is fairly obvious. You've got to feed people. So you would build I think they call
Tavern.
it tavern was one of them. The other one was a bit before that was like the actual building that made the food. You built that
Oh, I was
first.
going to say brasserie, but okay.
I can't remember what they called it. Might have been I can't remember what it was. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
So I had a quick look at the Steam page just to see if
Can I
it
please keep going with what I'm describing before you
Sorry.
lose track of what I'm doing? So you build that thing, then you build the tavern, and you got to line up. You got to associate the tavern with the food producing thing. So you then basically connect those two together. They then in the game, and you can see at the top of the screen a little bit. You've got fetchers, which are literally the run around grunt people. who do the fetching, and then you've got things like I think they call them green hands, which is basically like your level of citizens who can actually do stuff like cooks, run the tavern, that sort of thing. So you've got levels of that. It may end up going down the path of having things like the different levels of people, like you do in an anno game, where you've got base citizens, and the next level up require what the base citizens need plus their own stuff, and then I don't know if it'll go down that path. It looks like it might, which is fine. But so you've got that same production chain that you do in anno games, or anno style games, but nowhere near as involved as that. It seems you might have one or two steps, whereas an anno game might have 3 or 4 steps. You've got to make sure everything's linked together,
okay.
that sort of stuff. But what you're doing when you're building these particular things, you can see you actually build them on the side of cliffs. And then you can basically join those things together by the connection paths. And that's what ends up with this sort of a jungle kind of a thing. And a lot of that stuff is automatically, like you make a connection between two buildings, and it'll make some of those platforms itself. You're not pathing them really directly yourself.
Okay, that's kind of what I meant.
But you are sort of saying, I want to join that to that, and it'll just sort of silhouette this over with this sort of green sort of stuff here that you're seeing.
That looks fucking complicated.
It is and it isn't. I mean, they present it pretty well that it makes sense, because you can see the connection between the different buildings of a construction line. But also, if you get a red line on screen, which I think they had,
There are a few of those.
red line, that basically means that particular transport path is too slow for it to make the need of the other end, sort of thing.
Oh.
So you can have that as an issue, because I was playing the demo. And as part of the demo, which only plays the story part, it's only available in the demo, it's the story part, not the... Oh, they did give the free build mode had a particular name, I can't remember what they called it now. But at one point you're going to get attacked by the person who originally captured you in the beginning of the game, beginning of the story, and you had to build a gun tower, I think is what they call it, or a shot tower, one or two, gun tower I think it was, and you need to provide gunpowder to it. And I had my gunpowder on the opposite side of the sort of bay I'd created, so the guy had to run all the way around.
That's not efficient.
Which was exactly that's what it is. And then basically the red line came up on screen. This is too slow. Literally, the game says the guy's too fucking slow. Is basically what it was saying.
Get him on a treadmill.
Yeah. So basically, you can then the demo then proceeded with expanding more of it, doing more stuff like that. So it's got a really it's one of those things I was saying before, like the city builder genre. There's a fuckload of them out there, absolute shitload of them. Like Arse games, like in computer games, whatever. There's a lot of, especially in the indie space, where there's a lot more scope for these things to get pitched and actually made.
Get weird
and get the ones that appeal to me at the moment are ones that do something just differently. There's one a couple of years ago, Lysara Summit Kingdom, which has a kind of a similar aspect to this, where you're building up rather than just building out, sort of thing.
We did a checkout of that.
Yes, we did. So so this is really this was on my wish list from a while ago. I'm glad they got a demo, because now it's cemented it as being staying on my wish list. It's only out in I think it's end of I think we're getting it the 1st of August in Australia, but it's worldwide like America 31st, our August 1st. But you also got a good old check tree. You've got 4 aspects of being a pirate. I can't remember there's 4 paths you can take. Basically, the game has you can either pick one and progress all down that path, or try and be a jack of all trades, master of none kind of approach, or that sort of thing. So and they give you perks along the way. As you're going through this, and it's on the compass, was where you can pick out this check tree in one direction versus these 4 aspects.
Do you get to go on looting or plundering missions?
Yeah, basically you do, because at one point we had a building up. Now, that's the interesting thing. When you get into your one of these screenshots had it. I think it was that one. You see where it says enter there?
Yep.
That's where you can basically enter an event. So throughout the story, there are lots of these events where you've got to choose an action. So, for example, after we did the initial, we blew up the boat and we got to our island, about probably 5 minutes later I got presented with, 15 sailors from the ship that you were captured on have washed ashore. What do you want to do with it? What do you do with them? So you've either got, yep, that's one of the options. Was fuck off, get out of here. Take the able-bodied ones. Take them all, whatever. And at the very top middle of the screen here, you can see we've got this meter here. It's just really hard to read there, but it's a cohesion meter. It's how how everybody's working together, kind of stuff. So it's cohesion meter. So you might have that if you add your enemies to your pirate list, the cohesion goes down because it's a negative effect sort of thing. But what we can also do is go into and have battles which do the opposite. You win the battles, and you can have a positive effect on it. So as a part of that, you're building a ship to go back and try and find the person who basically tried to kill you before, and you go into a ship-based battle on it. The ship-based battle is not real time. It's almost dice throws, and literally has dice come up on screen as the outcome of your events. So that's really like there's no clicking and watching in real time. You're basically essentially picking cards.
Micromanaging shit.
No, you're picking cards on the bottom of the screen for the action. Like might be this is one that attacks the enemy and does 3 to 6 damage. The objective might be get the enemy down to 0 health. That sort of might be as basic as that. You click on the card that's literally presented as a card with the damage. A dice is then rolled. What's not particularly clear because there's a demo that just throws all sorts of shit at you at the time. Doesn't really explain necessarily how the dice rolls output or the number that comes up affects the outcome of what you do. Whether it's got to be 4 and above wins.
Like you got to roll a 3 or above. Or
yeah,
whatever,
that wasn't particularly well explained. It might have been I just missed it because there's so much.
Is it normal dice or like a D20 or some shit?
No, it's a normal 6-sided dice.
Okay.
Some of them had 2 dice thrown. No idea fucking why. just to throw.
Because they wanted to throw 2 dice.
Yeah, and I just didn't explain why it was that like that. And then once if you win that battle, you've got that's the outcome, and that's a positive to the outcome of the event leads to positive effect on your pirate cove as a whole. And it just seems like it's just doing a lot of interesting stuff.
It seems like there's a lot to it.
It's a lot to it. Like most demos that you download, I don't know if this is your experience with demos, they're relatively small. Like in terms of size, you're downloading size.
Yeah.
Right?
I tend to wrap demos once I'm like, yep, done. I'm buying
this. So
most of the time that's before I finish it.
Yeah, this demo, if I recall, where's it gone?
You had like 1.7 hours in it.
Yeah, I've played it twice now over a couple of periods of time. This thing is 30 gig demo, so it's a pretty damn big.
I've had a couple of demos that are big like that. And
there's not the cut scenes are like motion graphics kind of thing, like motion comic stuff. In fact, there's one at the very beginning of it where in the opening sort of cut scene, this pirate's about to blow up this boat to get off the boat, which seems a bit, it worked.
Well, to get off the boat makes sense.
And on the shoulder of this pirate is this rat that's going. just that really funny.
Right.
It's just this rat was going, "What are you doing, dude?" So, yeah, that's what I'm sort of saying with the path thing that I was talking about. And you can then build around peaks and it's just really really neat in what it's doing. And as I said, it's just different enough from all the other ones of these that are out there or about to come out or have come out. That is, just doing a lot that I like a lot of what it's doing. So, so that's Corsair Cove. It's really neat.
So the store page doesn't highlight what country; it just says the Crown.
Yes, but I'm pretty sure.
I wouldn't surprise me if it was Dutch or whatever.
I think it was pretty sure they would. I think they even might have. I'm pretty sure they said Dutch in the.
Yeah, animated gifs on that fucking page are pretty fucking full on too.
Yeah,
like watching.
Yeah. Yeah. So the thing that I also the screenshots can't show is the animation of various things, like the machines, like the buildings that do stuff, is really neat as well. I mean, it does look really really good. Like it looks really neat.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure it's done on Unreal, but I'm not really sure. But yeah, it is. Yeah, it is doing a lot, and I'm really digging it. My last game is I think your first or second game from your list, and it is Forza Horizon 6. So yeah, we've had our
Cargo Vroom.
Yep. Um, yeah, that's the games that I have played since, well, literally the last 3 days. That's what I've played most of those in, because that's the only time I got around to playing them. But yeah, that's since we last did a proper broadcast. So it being our last episode of June, and our next one will be in July. We are going to do our upcoming games that we're interested in for July, or at least most of them. So give me a moment to get that.
When you look at the release list, like that Wikipedia page we use, July has a lot of shit coming out. My wish list has a lot of games coming out in June, and it's just like, holy fuck. And then when Keely's like, hey, nearly 10,000 games came out at the start of like the first 6 months. I'm like, fuck you, dude. That's not a good thing.
Here we go. Doom the Dark Ages Revelations. So this is the DLC for the game you've already played.
Yeah, it is.
So
there's a spear.
It's out in 2 weeks, I guess.
Yep.
Just the end of June, just so we're covering our bases. We've not done anything that's not already out. So that's nope, that's cool.
All the shit that was like June was a pretty small month for us on that one. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this Doom the Dark Ages DLC. Like, surely it's got to be good, right?
Yeah, I think so.
The main game was very good. I really liked it. Yeah. More Doom. More Doom is always a good thing.
Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. That is the remaster. I'm not really sure. Remake of the Black Flag, which is probably one of the more favoured ones of the other than the original trilogy. I'm thinking.
That and Origins are probably the two that most people are pretty universally positive on.
I think so. Yeah, and also
doesn't have the real world story shit in this one.
Yeah, I think they've cut it back a fair bit. So yeah, so is what it is. The Altars Last Variable. This is a DLC for the Altars from
last year.
Was it last year or the year before? Now must be last year.
I want to say like July last year.
Might have been July. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It was last year. I'm not too sure how this fits into the game that I've played. Whether I can play it. I don't know whether I've got to finish the game. I don't know what state I've got to get to in the main game to be able to play this. So not too sure.
That's frustrating when DLCs do that, because like a lot of the From DLCs do that, where you have to actually look up where you actually take off from.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do this one, but this looks like it might be different enough from the main game that I might be able to get back into it. I'm not sure. It doesn't look like based on what I saw in the various trailers and stuff we saw for it, you're still doing a lot of the same sort of thing, but you're not on a moving thing like you were in the main game. So curious about that one, but yeah, I'm curious about that because I did like a lot of that first game or the main game. But it's a point where you could go down a certain path and just get completely trapped and have nowhere to get out of it. And yeah, so that was a bit of an issue with that one.
And that's fucked.
Yep. The next couple of games are just games I saw on various Steam Next Fest and Wish and all sort of stuff. So I've not played them, although I do have demos for I think all of these. I think for myself anyway. Factory Town 2 Paradise. So
is there a Factory Town 1?
There was Factory Town. Yeah, there was. Yep.
Okay.
So this is just an automation game with a little factory, like a town thing. So it's just, but the just looks really neat. So did not play the first one, so I'm just curious what that's sort of like. Moss, the Forgotten Relic. Moss was a game that was only available on the PlayStation VR. They're now bringing that to regular platforms, you could say. I liked what I played of Moss in VR a little bit. I just didn't like VR, so I didn't play a lot of it.
I think this is Moss 1 and 2 in one package.
I think that's what it is there. That's my understanding too. So yeah, it was a neat little sort of platform puzzle game. So I'm looking forward to playing this on a real platform.
Whoa! Shots fired.
That's fired. Fading Echo is another one that's been on my wish list for a while. It is a platformer. I'm not sure I'm going to like it necessarily, but I like a lot of what it's.
It's kind of 3D. There's a 3D Zelda element to it as well, and then there's the traversal where the character you control can turn into different liquids.
Yeah, so it's
to help you traverse the environment and use it in combat, stuff like that. The demo was really neat. Depending on how long they try and make it, if it ends up being like some 30-hour thing,
okay,
that's where it's going to be. But if it's like maybe 12, 15, it could hold up really well.
Yeah, so I've got a demo of. Pretty sure I've got a demo of that.
There should be.
I think maybe I haven't done the other, but I certainly saw one. So the demo, there's a demo of this Factory Town Paradise, demo of Moss, the Forgotten Relic. Pretty sure there's a Fading Echo demo. I just haven't downloaded it yet.
I don't know if it's part of the next fest, but I definitely played the demo of that on stream months ago.
I thought I saw it. Let me just double check. Yes, there's a demo available on Steam for that game now, so I'm going to play that one. A bunch of other demos I've downloaded.
What you think?
Yeah, I'm curious about that one. It may come off my wish list once I play the demo, we shall see.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the concept is interesting more than anything else with that one. I think the next one might be yours.
Dodo Ducky. I just wanted to add a little whimsy to this one, to this upcoming games. It's a platformer where you're a duck and you can switch between 2D and 3D. That sounds pretty great to me.
Halo campaign evolved. This was shown on the Xbox showcase. I'm pretty sure was it before that, was it? Yeah.
It was on the Xbox one. They said 3 new missions.
3 missions with basically this dude and Master Chief. So I'm looking forward to playing that because I think what they've done it looks fucking great, and that game was awesome when I played it back in the 2000 and whatever it was.
01.
Split
screen co-op on PlayStation. Both players need to have PlayStation Plus apparently, so know that going in.
That makes sense. It's an online game.
No, what if if it's split screen, you're both playing on the couch.
Yeah, so you wouldn't. If you're on split screen, you're on one console.
Yeah.
What, both players needed on that? Then is that what they're saying? Okay.
That's what I read.
Oh, that's
why I mentioned that because that sounds really fucking weird.
That's a PlayStation limitation, not what.
No, that's something they brought in. Yeah. The Relic First Guardian. Hey, I think I'm pretty sure it's a Souls-like because it sure as shit looks like one.
Yep, certainly does.
And it looks pretty rad every time I've seen it in different forms and different showcases and stuff. There are a few of these, at least Souls adjacent, between Phantom Blade Zero and the other one that is slipping me right now. Nope, lost. I can't think of it. There is another one coming out like September. So there's a few of those. And this one looks rad.
And the last one is Corsair Cove, which may actually, for Australian or Southern Hemisphere people, actually sneak into actually being out in August. But we're usually.
Hey, what's that game about?
There was a funny joke in the discussion forums on Steam about this being sponsored by Corsair.
There you go.
PC Benchmark. Here's why it's called Corsair Cove, because I don't think there's any reason. Any expression in the demo that I've seen as to why it's called Corsair Cove. So
because Corsair's a type of ship.
I think it is too. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
but yes,
that's nice to hear that discussion boards aren't always just a constant dumpster fire of fucking sewage.
Yeah, so that was kind of funny when I read that. So yeah, that will do us for games of July. And we
July.
Jump into this. Alrighty, so we've got a bunch of stuff up on the channel because we did 4 talkovers and an extra Key 3 review pod. You've been streaming at twitch.tv/enemy starship, so
Hey, good job.
you can obviously follow Steve over there for notification when he goes live. Most times sort of Friday afternoons and Saturday afternoons in Australia.
Yep.
God knows what they are in the other parts of the world. Figure that out for yourself.
3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, probably something like that. Yeah.
Watch me do and say dumb shit on the internet.
Yeah, so we'll be back next weekend with something. I have no idea what that will be. Back in a fortnight for the next regular podcast. Anything to add before we head off, Steve? No?
I play games on the internet sometimes.
Cool. On that note, see you in a couple of weeks. Goodbye. Thanks for watching. See ya.